Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of General Geekery. I am Brian, and with me, as always, is JD.
Hello.
And we have one hell of an awesome episode for you tonight. Not only are we going to unbox the brand new Roboskull Mark II, JD has the version 1, I have the special edition, but we have the creators, Ben Conway and Mark, with us tonight. Thank you for joining us, gentlemen.
Thanks for
Thanks
the
for having us.
invitation.
Absolutely. Ben, we had you on the show about 3 years ago. I just looked up the date of the episode that we put it up. It was November 9th, 3 years ago. Man, it doesn't seem that long, and it seems even longer sometimes.
I think it seems longer, personally, Brian. It's been a minute, so it's
I'll
awesome.
tell you, for you guys, this must have seemed like an endless journey of logistics and figuring things out and while dealing with oh you know what? I can't even imagine the issue you guys had to deal with trying to get this moved to production. So
It has been quite a journey. So we're really excited that you guys have the Robo Skulls and excited to see you guys unbox them. I'm impressed you guys have been able to hold on this long because the reaction online's been phenomenal.
Yeah,
I
I've been looking at the posts, and luckily it got in the day before I had to go back to work for a 48-hour shift. So there was 2 days gone right there that it's like, yeah, I wasn't even home, but
and
so
I have one slight advantage. It's called attention deficit disorder. So lack of object permanence, if things are not necessarily in my direct line of sight, sometimes I can move them to the back burner of my mind. So I put this thing out in the garage. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm not even going to be tempted to open it because it's cold and I don't want to go out there.
like the back burner of his mind is, imagine like one of those like like kitchen fry sheets. Like, I mean,
Yeah, and the back burner is filled with stuff. The front burner is doesn't work that well.
yeah,
So
it's not very big either.
The front burner always breaks.
Yeah,
um,
exactly.
yes. So uh, but yeah, I was happy we were able to get you guys on this soon because I imagine there's a lot of demand for you guys to guest on podcasts. So this is pretty awesome.
Yeah,
And
we're going to be on a few this week, so we're glad that we're here though, and ready to get into it with you guys.
uh,
Brian, I hope you're rested up after a 48-hour shift, man.
yeah, absolutely. Luckily, it wasn't too busy. And first of all, congratulations on getting that Kickstarter done. Those are no small feats, getting those Kickstarters funded, the stretch goals done, getting all that collected, getting in and getting all the stuff that happens behind the scenes done to get it to us in our hands, which is what we're going to take a look at right now because
Well, I appreciate that, Brian, but our 6-inch fans will be really quick to point out that we're not done with this Kickstarter quite yet, and we've got some 6-inch figures coming right after this, hopefully, after this kind of main course of the Robo Skull delivers.
excellent.
I'm one of those waiting on 6-inch figures, but you know what? Take your time. Quality is the main objective, and frankly, I know they're going to be worth the wait. So,
I appreciate that very much.
The packing
um,
box is amazing. I love the packing box.
Yeah, we had some fun with that outside box, and a gentleman by the name of Gary goes by Gary G. He's done a lot of different work for a lot of different toy lines. He's doing stuff for Ace over at Ramen, worked with a lot of other people, and he jumped in to help us with that box and really and some other things. But he really went wild with it, and we just loved how it turned out. Just for a mailer box to make sure you guys see it coming.
Oh. So yeah, I'll I will admit that I opened the outer box because my wife made me. She wanted to see she wanted to see the box. So
Well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I think when the spouse is showing interest in what you've got coming in the door, which
okay.
isn't usually the case. At least
Yeah,
that,
we don't hear that one a lot where they want to see what it is. Usually they want to see it leave the house, so this is good.
Oh yeah, no,
His wife is just about as big a nerd as he is.
yeah,
So,
Perfect.
yeah, no, she wanted to see it, and she was not too happy that I was gonna wait because she's been waiting as long as I have for this. Oh man, look at that! Look at that! That is a work of art.
Thank you. We're really excited about the way the box turned out.
Oh yeah, no, it's fantastic. I've done my own custom boxes before. You can see a couple of them on the shelves behind me here. So I know what a pain in the ass it is to get boxes made. And the fact that it's like matte and gloss, man, I mean, that's not even an option that I have on the boxes that I make.
Yeah,
Oh,
we had some fun putting that spot UV varnish on that and just finding different places that pop. So we're really happy with how it turned out.
yeah, that is phenomenal. I've never seen anything like that before, where it's got a dual finish on the box. That is amazing. So on the
Yeah, we
side,
think it turned out great. And some of the other premium products have been doing some of that. I did notice the G.I. Joe Dragonfly, which is a beautiful, beautiful box as well. Did some of that UV spot varnish on it.
did they? I haven't seen it in person, so this is the first box that I've had. So we've got art on the side. It's got the red weasel with the Skeletron on it. On the back, we've got the different modes with the articulation. The prisoner transport is highlighted there. Um, Something that says that it's 1/12 scale compatible, 1/18 scale compatible. So we got two different cockpit inserts, the figure, the accessories that go with it. On the other side is the design for the Mark II SE, which is the one I have. JD got just the regular one.
all right, I'm sitting here admiring the box. I
Oh,
can't look away.
We had a few different artists on this. So Ian Kennedy did the packaging art on the front, and then Gary G did some of the work on the box. And then if you look at the box top itself, is some of the work from Brian Sauer, who actually runs the Assembly Required event down in Iowa. We were just at a few weeks ago, but he did all that artwork on the box top.
yeah, we had Troy on the show a couple weeks ago. He was going.
Yeah. Yeah, we do a lot of work. That's awesome. We do a lot of work with Troy. He's an awesome guy, and we just saw him down there at Assembly Required. We had a great time.
Yeah, it was the weekend before they were headed out, so we got him on the show just in time.
Yeah, actually, I've got his ghost call sign longbow ghost figure right here.
Excellent. Yeah, I got mine. Whoa. Whoa.
Holy shit.
Look at this. Man, this thing's amazing.
Wow.
All right.
There's a lot of
This
tape
is
on
A
there.
lot of
This
tape to
is
get through.
I see that.
phenomenal.
That's why I have an X-Acto knife here. Well, I did. I don't know where it went. There it is.
So Mark and I actually spent some time with the factory trying to pack these parts into the most optimal positions so that we could get this thing into the smallest box possible. So as big as that box is, it's actually that's actually after efforting to try to get that box down to the smallest size we could.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I can't imagine how big it probably was to start off with.
Yeah, it was a little tricky trying to maneuver it around just to get it as condensed as possible, but really happy with how it turned out. Just finding a place for everything.
Even the wing is huge.
Ryan, you gonna do that whole thing right in your lap there?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually sitting on the floor. And
Actually, hang on a sec. I do have something better. I just got to clear it off. So I've got a TV tray that I use for the show. It's got custom right now because any flat space will have something on it.
This is the size of an actual human skull.
Small
Holy,
small human skull.
you know what? Technical details. This is,
It's yeah. It's fun to watch you guys open this because you're never sure what everyone's going to go for first, right? Like when people unbox things, you guys saw there was like an envelope that came with, but it's like, no, we're diving right into this thing. I'm going straight for the skull. I'm just getting right into this thing.
I definitely want to see what's in the envelope. Don't get me wrong, because I know there's all kinds of cool art and stuff.
this is so cool.
But I figured I would get it all out of the package first.
Yeah, pull out all those parts. That's a good plan, Brian.
Yeah.
And one thing I was going to mention actually, so JD, you mentioned it was in your cold garage all day. We are telling people, hey, try to let this thing acclimate to room temperature before you.
I pulled it out of the.
Good idea.
I pulled it out of the garage last night and sat it in the back room where the heat isn't directly on it, but it's the warmest part of the house. So this way I would not have any issues.
Great.
I gave it
Well,
plenty of time to activate.
we haven't had any problems, but we were thinking about it because it's about, I think it was about what, Mark, -10 here in Minnesota yesterday.
Pretty cold,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was pretty
So
cold.
I know mine was very cold. So I just like anything, I'm like, nope, we're gonna warm that plastic up because plastic plus cold is no good.
Yeah. No bueno. Absolutely. Um, Luckily, I'm in my customizing studio, so I have a hair dryer right next to me.
Nice. Yeah, it looks like you got a pretty good setup in there, Brian.
Oh yeah.
A lot of room.
Yep. Everything that you see around me is customs. None of that is collection. That is everything. Everything that you can see is something I made here.
Wow, that's fun.
That's awesome. That's one of the things we're actually excited to see what people get into as far as customizing these things once they get them into their hands, because we've kind of made some of our own custom ideas and had some fun with it. Just thinking about different decos and things we'd like to do. So we're excited to see what other people are going to end up doing with their Roboskulls.
Well, and I saw some of the figures that Grindhouse made. He made some custom figures to go with it.
Oh yeah. Gosh, Chris Scott is such an awesome dude, and he's such a talent too. So we've been working with him actually on a couple things, and just saw him at Assembly Required. He was able to come up from Florida for just one night, but it was cool. We got a chance to hang out with him there.
I don't think we've had him on the show. I don't think I've met him, so we need to get him on the show sometime.
For sure.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, I recognize the screen name, but no, I don't. I've never talked to him.
Because he's getting ready to have some stuff coming out pretty soon, I think, too.
Yeah, he's he worked on, well, he launched that Necromancer figure that had that amazing like VHS box art.
Yes.
I've got one around here somewhere, but amazing art by Mark Pennington on the packaging. And then and it was actually Brian Sauer again that worked with Chris on that box art, but it's just absolutely killer. And Chris has a really kind of fun, I love his packaging concept for Grindhouse, where he's doing the VHS cassette tape packaging. It's really cool.
That. The Boss Fight did that with the Zorro the Gay Blade set, and then Hasbro did it with the O-Ring Ghostbusters set.
Oh yeah, Mark, we got that coming, don't we?
I got my shipping. Well, they said I think they took payment, so I'm just waiting on the shipping.
I got mine from Big Bad Toy Store day before yesterday. I actually ordered 2 sets. I'm getting one for my wife for Christmas. So
nice.
Actually, right here, because she didn't come down here, so I don't have to worry about it. But
that's cool.
Look at that. That looks awesome.
That's cool.
And it's a window box too. So
she definitely goes down there. She was down there before the show, so you may want to put that under the table or something.
She doesn't look at anything though, so I'm not too worried about it.
JD, we can't really see how your progress is coming there on the floor. You
Oh,
got
sorry.
He's
I was
got
just
to the
so
figure, it
the,
looks like.
yeah, you got
the
your
Bob
carded figure
Brecken
out.
figure. Yeah, here's where the trays are right now.
Yeah,
So,
looks like they're looks like you're doing pretty well on those.
so
Like Christmas in December here.
yeah, that's yeah, this is really, this is epic. Um,
We've had more than a few people tell us that they genuinely had that kind of Christmas morning feeling when they were opening these and putting them together, and that was really really cool to hear.
yeah, I'm feeling the same thing.
Yep. This
Um,
takes me back to reminds me when I got my whale and my Sky Striker.
I'm currently transfixed by the wing details.
So
The
when you get to putting those on, if you were to look at the manual, which you don't need to, of course, because we're here to help. But on the inside of each of those cones, there's an L and an R indicator on the black plastic.
Okay.
yes.
And then so your left and right is going to be based on, if you were the skull, right? So your left wing and your right wing, if you were the skull or the forward facing pilot. So that'll be your left and your right.
Okay.
And then the other thing is you really want to pay attention to, there's like a small key notch out on that wing there on that kind of triangular piece. So that's probably the best place to kind of rotate and line it up before you stick it together.
Okay.
Or the other way to think about it is that orange, you kind of got like that orange light on the bottom of the cone. If that faces down towards the ground, that would be the way to line that up.
Hang on a sec now.
We found that it always takes longer to do this when you're recording live on camera and everybody's watching you.
There we go.
Let's see
I
here.
already got one.
So this is the notch that you're talking about.
It's
So
actually
you want to keep
little...
that black piece you want to keep up because that's going to go, keep that on the top side.
Okay.
That will contour to the skull. But then there is a key in there.
Okay. Yeah, I see. All right.
Satisfying sound of it locking into place.
You got it.
Oh,
Looks like Brian's right behind though. He's got
yeah.
one.
Look at this. Look at this. This is phenomenal. So who designed what on this thing? Were there certain parts that you guys were individually responsible for, or was it decided by both of you before anything went forward?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it was one of the most collaborative design processes I've ever been a part of, quite honestly. So we had a team of people. We really started getting cooking when we brought Alex Wu in as our concept artist, and he's just amazing and just started like whipping up all these insanely kick-ass sketches. And we went from a bunch of concepts and then narrowed down on the general, pick one of those as the general idea. And then from there, I would say we really looked at every part of the Roboskull as its own almost mini project. And we just kind of kept coming back around and refining different things and making adjustments. And then of course, coming back and looking at it holistically and making sure that, that it all sort of worked well together once all the pieces came together. But there's a lot of funky stuff going on here. So we've got different looks at different places on the Roboskull. And Mark, of course, was really involved in the design process. Mark actually started doing 3D modeling to try to kind of capture some different ideas and some different looks that ultimately led Mark down the path of that he jumped into, and now is like a full on ZBrush sculptor who's doing some sculpting all kinds of things, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah,
Nice.
that is one of the few skills that I don't have that I wish I did was the 3D modeling to be doing my own heads and stuff.
Yeah, it was fun to be able to jump in on the project and just have the opportunity to learn it. And it's been quite a ride, but yeah, I've been very familiar with this skull from the beginning.
So when you want to put that chin gun on, what works best is if you kind of pull that ratchet down and out straight. It's got a ratchet. Yeah. Yeah. So kind of pull
cat.
that. Hey,
Damn
cat.
it, cat.
Yeah, it rotates at 2 points, that piece under the chin. So if you pull that down, yep, exactly. So
you got to give it a good push and it'll pop on.
Okay.
yeah, so like anything, we didn't want anything flopping around on this. Yeah, so everything's going to start off, it's going to feel a little bit tight. And that's, again, that's because we didn't want any loose features on this
Well,
thing.
that makes sense. And
Absolutely.
because it's tight, so you don't want to force it, but all right, so
you got to give it. You could force it a little bit on this one, JD. Just give it a good old, direct, straight on push. You want to come straight in, but you can come if you.
Don't try not to come in at an angle with it. Try and come as straight in as you can.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right, so hang on. Dumb question. We got this piece. I'm guessing that's where it attaches. What is this for?
That's for a different feature. We can show you. We can show you.
Okay.
We can show you later. Again, it's in the operations manual.
I have one I can show you after you do this.
I'm gonna guess the operations manual is in here, right?
Nailed it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll look at that after. We're good. All right, so pop that on. And
oh man, this thing's amazing.
Oh shit. What am I doing wrong here? Okay.
Well, Brian got it, so he's a step ahead of you. No pressure.
Right.
Brian, did you get did you put the prisoner transport in the back already? Did I see you holding that?
Next. I'm actually 2 steps ahead because I got the missiles in the mouth gun.
Nice.
All right, so which way goes in? Does it matter?
It'll actually go in either way, but I like to put it in where all that cool deco on the backside is visible. So that's how I do it, but it actually works both directions. So
boy, do I feel like a dumbass right now.
Oh, don't. You're not the only one who probably has struggled with this.
Ratchet the gun back up a little bit. There we go. Sweet. Oh.
So did you guys plan in advance to get an SE and a regular and split them up that way?
I think we just did that by accident. Because I was really on the fence between the SE and the regular. I really had a hard time choosing. And
hey JD, let's take a look at this thing. Let's straighten that thing out. Let's give you a hand here.
Yeah. You know the old cliche about not the sharpest knife in the drawer? That's me.
So what you want to do is make sure that second part that's bent, straighten that out.
Yeah.
Yep. So, yep, keep that full thing straight. Yep, right on. And then hold on to one side of that with your hand, okay? So rest the Roboskull in your lap,
Okay.
and then this will help you align it. This will help you line this thing up.
Let's go in the. Oh, ew. Yeah, look at that.
Hey, Brian, I found one part of the show to edit. Um, Make me look like slightly less of a dumbass.
That's pretty tall order.
Shut up. I should have expected that answer. Been friends with this guy for 19 years. You'd think I would have expected it, but no. No. Dick.
I'm a paramedic, not a miracle worker.
Ah, there we go. See, I got it.
It looked like it went on easy when it finally went there for you. But
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, this is. Oh, yeah, look at that.
Whoa.
All right. Good. He's got his beard now.
So yeah, I think we did discuss it when we were doing our Kickstarter, when we were back in the Kickstarter, that one of us would get the SE and one of us would get the regular. So we would have one of each for the show.
All right. So yeah, I think Brian's right. And I don't know what determined which one each of us picked, but I'm pretty happy with my choice. So
As am I. I regret
perfect.
nothing.
So JD, when you put that in, you're gonna want to keep the glass side up.
ooh.
There you go.
There you go.
I love that there is a prisoner transport. I don't know if that was shown on the original Kickstarter or not, or something that came along later, but it was a surprise to me, and uh, I love that feature. I love that feature.
Yeah, it was. I'm glad you love it. We had a lot of fun designing that. It just felt like it really kind of gave it even more of a play set vibe where you can do different things with it. You can throw a prisoner in there, or the other thing is there's three of those assassin skeledrones that come inside your box, and
Yes.
those can get stored inside of the prisoner transport as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Which is one of the things we actually developed specifically for how this Robo Skull would work for someone who was a 6-inch collector. So we wanted this to work really well for both 4-inch and 6-inch collectors. And there really just wasn't a way when we got all this, the size of this and the engineering, we had it all figured out for how to do that 6-inch seat inside the cockpit.
Right.
But for the prisoner transport, there was really just not, it really just wasn't going to work to have that big enough to hold a 6-inch figure. So we
Yeah.
went down a path of like, okay, what is this? What is the other usage of this storage unit? And we had a whole bunch of different cool things that got developed as far as like, extra machines and extra weaponry and different things that went inside there. And then it was actually Dave Proctor who came up with the idea of maybe we had these little mechanical beasties that could go inside. And I just absolutely love that idea. And they work really at either scale. So those guys are creepy, if they're full on 1/18 scale, or if they're just smaller versions attacking 6-inch figures, they work, I think, equally well.
um, yeah, I think they fit in
We
if
got
you've got them attacking He-Man figures too. I think they fit very well in multiple different universes.
Yeah, we love those little guys, and they're really fun just to have on your desk. They're fun little fiddle toys to play with. So we love our Skeledrones.
Now, I love that there's missiles in the mouth. I feel like Metalhead will be like, "Oh, I gotta fly that just so I can fire those."
And so that
The
that
Breath
weapon,
of Death. I
yeah,
love that name. Oh, that's
we've got
beautiful.
some cool lightning effect, and we've got the yellow with the yellow lightning with the special edition, and the blue lightning with the classic Mark II.
Yeah,
Nice.
one thing we haven't shown for a while, maybe Ben, since even the Kickstarter, although I think it might be on the box, is the fact that you get 4-inch figures and maybe even 6-inch, but 4-inch figures that definitely fit in between the electric, I
Oh,
guess
Yeah,
whatever you want to call those, yeah,
yeah, the
the
electricity.
bolts.
So yeah, absolutely. So yeah, exactly. So that's a good point, Mark. So he's gonna looks like Brian's gonna drop one in there, but we designed that and sculpted that so those could go into the lightning. Just got to put that in a little bit more deeply, Brian, on the
yeah.
yeah, there you
Yeah, there
go.
you go, JD.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's sweet. Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, and that's just for us, that's just extra fun stuff where you can make a little scene where the Robo Skull lands and then blasts lightning
There you go.
at the heroes or bats or whoever.
Yeah. That's just what I had laying around.
Yeah.
This is. I love these chin guns. Um,
Yeah, absolutely. This is
that is death staring a guy in the face, or a whole army of guys in the face. Um,
Well, and with those chin guns, one thing you'll notice is that attachment that you put on, that whole assembly will actually rotate 360 degrees too. So
that's
you
what I
can,
thought.
yeah, so you can
oh,
fire
so you can
behind
fire
you.
behind him.
Yeah.
That's sweet. Um, yeah,
Oh,
part of me wants to see a race between the Roboskull and uh, the Mandalorian in his Razor Crest.
That's a good one.
And this likeness of Bob Brecken is eerie. It's really good.
Fred
Well,
Fred
we had to make sure we got Bob's sign off on that one.
got the
You
stickers.
know, I did see the pictures of him the other day with his Roboskull Mark II, and I'm sure you've discussed this with him, but I looked at those pictures and I thought, this guy's got to be tripping out that this thing he created 40 years ago has spawned a whole following and a brand new version of something this many years later. Like
yeah.
he's got to be totally tripped out by it.
Yeah,
He's loving it. He's loving it. And how cool was it that he flew all the way over from England to come to Joe Fest to hang out with everybody this summer, and that was really cool. And his son came with him, and the guy's got amazing energy for an 80-year-old guy. He is on point and just was loved the entire experience. Loved talking to the fans. I really think he had the time of his life, as he should.
That's awesome to hear.
Yeah, it really is. Like, I love that he came over to the U.S. just to meet the fans and see this thing for real instead of, well, like you said, he's got a lot of energy, but like, I think it's great that he does.
Yeah,
Um,
I
absolutely.
and
think that, yeah, and I think that was his first trip to the US ever.
Yep.
Nice.
wow. Um,
So it was definitely, so it's very, very cool for us, to be able to meet him and
Absolutely.
spend time with Bob and, because especially considering this isn't something that, he does regularly. So, and again, like Ben said, it was really neat to see him engaging with the fans. He's signing books, he's signing posters. Just it was really quite the experience.
Yeah,
And then just on
he
a
did a
personal
panel. He did a
level,
Palatoy panel. It was great.
yeah, exactly. Palatoy panel, and then he was honored at the show. He was presented with a really neat award, and so it was just really cool. And when he was telling his Palatoy story, he had a packed room, And that panel, I mean, it was really quite, quite an experience just to sit there and watch everyone listening to him tell his stories live. It was really cool.
Nice. Yeah, that is definitely like a once in a lifetime kind of opportunity there.
Yeah, it was great. And kudos to the team at Joe Fest and Ed Schumacher, because those guys, had a special like Mark mentioned, they inducted him into their Hall of Fame, the GI Joe Hall of Fame, but then they had a special Action Force version for Bob that they gave him at the
Nice.
show. So it was really cool.
Sweet. That is amazing.
You guys, looks like you
Nice.
guys both got the eye cannons in there, so that's awesome.
Yep.
Yep. Because those
Trying
go in
out.
pretty snug right away, but once you get them, it's pretty good from that
Yeah.
point on.
It's the one on the left doesn't want to go in too well, but
If you, yeah, it's again, it's that PVC. It's really thick on the face, and you kind of wiggle it back and forth before you kind of get that thing to pop in the first time.
oh, there it goes.
Yeah.
And then looks like JD's gonna try out the Robo Glow eye in there.
Oh yeah, I gotta try the creepy eyes.
Yeah, those are great. Those turned out really, really nice. And really happy with the glow in the dark features that we were able to add to this thing.
Oh, they glow in the dark.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
And I love glow in the dark toys. So
And we've got another glow in the dark surprise for everybody that we didn't even talk about. Everybody knew they were going to get a decal sheet for glow in the dark. There you
yeah.
go. Got those two Robo Glow
yeah.
eyes in there, and it's a very like ghostly, eerie kind of look for the
Yeah, it's very unsettling. I imagine if you have it in the, like, if you've got a display like in the bedroom, uh they glow in the dark and see it in it might be a little surreal. Oh shit, that's cool. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave the creepy eyes for a little bit.
That is.
You know.
See, Brian, you got all the different modes going, right? Where you can, push those wings in, push those wings out, the full rotation.
Here, let's do this too. Well, we got it like this.
So I think it was last year, some convention you were at. There was a video of Jason Mewes from Jay and Silent Bob playing with the Roboskull prototype, and I'm just like, and he was having a ball with that. Like,
I'm so glad you brought that up.
yeah, like
That was
I was
a
watching that
blast.
video. I'm like, how fucking cool is that?
Yeah, that was amazing. I
Yeah,
completely.
that was wild. So Jason Mewes actually came to our hometown in Minnesota and was at a convention, and we showed it to him, and he was just totally enthralled by it, and
That's awesome.
and did that whole review. He was super cool guy.
Yeah.
Um, as a guy who's been a fan of the BOSQ movies for 25 years, I've been to Jay and Silent Bob Secret Stash in Red Bank. I've been to the Quick Stop in Leonard, New Jersey. I've never actually met the actors, but um, like I follow them all on social. I follow a lot of them on social media. So when I saw that video that you guys posted, I was just like, I'm like, it's two parts of my nerdery have come together in the most random nexus of crossover.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it when two like different spheres of nerdery kind of like somehow converge in ways you don't expect. It's great,
Yeah,
isn't it?
that was certainly unexpected. I was just like, now if um I just thought to myself, now if he just provided a voice for the character, I think I would just trip out completely. Um, this dude, he's wicked. He's a big kid. As a guy who's never owned, no, I take that back. I have a Mouton. I have a vintage Mouton, but I never owned any of the other Palatoy stuff. It's really cool to see these guys brought back to the forefront in a big way between all the different lines that are doing Red Shadow-esque things. And but I feel like you guys started it, like the revival. I feel like you guys like captured the lightning in the bottle.
Well, it's interesting because there's been a lot of things recently that have that kind of inspired by the old Palatoy stuff. And for me, it goes back to guys like Christopher McLeod and Dave Tree, who are a couple British guys. And
Dave Tree, he's the guy that found the Bombardier figure, right?
Yeah, yes,
Prototype.
exactly. Yeah. And so those guys were coming to, those guys came to JoeCon like 10, they were at JoeCon's a decade ago talking about, doing panels and really telling people about, that sort of at the time felt a little bit like secret, alternate universe of G.I. Joe in the UK.
It very much was.
And it's really cool because, with all of us being collectors and some of us getting real wild and like wanting to get everything. And then to find out that like, oh, there's a whole nother, there's a whole nother world out there, whether it's the Palatoy Action Force or, the South American stuff or that small run of Japanese G.I. Joe figures, which is so cool. Like
I'm a big fan of the Fun School line and some of their trippy figures.
Yes. And the Fun School. And so, I mean, some of them are great and some of them are so awful that they're just, they're great in how bad they are. Like
I did one cosplay in my life. I went to the G.I. Joe convention in 2018 for the last one, and I cosplayed as Fun School Cross Country.
Nice.
I thought you were gonna say Windmill.
Yeah, Windmill's my all-time best fun school character.
Yeah, I
for sure
gotta love Windmill. I mean that even the art on that is just phenomenal.
Phenomenally bad.
Exactly.
I remember this for whatever reason. My son, when he was like 3 or 4 years old, walked past a Fun School Windmill that I picked up, and he just points at it and goes, "Lame."
Kids are fun, aren't they?
Yeah. Which is actually, it's been a great Thanksgiving for me because I've got nieces and nephews now that are younger. So for me to be able to for me to be able to bust out and unbox a Roboskull over Thanksgiving with some young kids was just
that must have been awesome.
Yeah, it was a riot, and they absolutely loved it. And it's one of those, it's one of those things where it's really hard for anybody to walk past it and not just stop and go, "Whoa, what is that?" Which is fun.
Yeah, 100%.
So Brian, that's kind of an interesting look. You got it kind of rotated 180 from how we typically show it, where the blue thrusters are at the back, and then you get the wings. You get the wings kind of doing a instead of a blast from the cannons, you've got it like an exhaust coming out the back.
Yeah, just fooling around with the different designs. I mean, there's
it looks pretty rad.
Yeah, I've got a modern Toxo Viper version 2 from the club as his co-pilot for now.
Very cool.
Nice.
Pilot. Yep, I need a co-pilot. Thank you. I knew I was missing something. Hang on.
This thing is awesome.
So here's a fun thing you want to try out, JD, real quick. You got if you pop out one of those eyes real quick.
Yeah.
And do you have the cannon blast effects handy? The big blast effect?
Yeah.
Yeah, so just now jam that blast effect right into his eye hole.
Oh no shit.
Yeah. Which is sort of fun, right?
But that's awesome.
Now take the RoboGlow eye, okay? and put it, that'll actually slip right onto the tip of that blast effect.
Oh, no shit.
Oh,
And
look at
so
that! Like he's
hopefully,
shooting the eye
yeah.
off against one of his. Oh shit, that's amazing,
And so those
dude.
are
The play
just,
features in this thing are endless.
yeah, that's what we tried to do. We really had a lot of fun with different ports and different kind of holes and different ways you could configure things and put it together. And we really wanted just to maximize the play value and just have a ton of fun with it.
This is so that's ingenious. Like, oh man, I love that.
So I got Gary here to go in the back.
Nice. Got a good old Gyre Wolf Gary goggles there.
Yep. There we go.
And that Gyre Wolf's still in stock at our website at skeletron.com too. So I'll give a plug for good old Gyre Wolf. And all the proceeds from the sale of that particular figure do go back to Gary's family. So
Oh, that's fantastic. I didn't know that.
yeah, so that's really cool. It's really awesome. He's got a great family, and we're in touch with them, and they love the figure. They're part of the process, and we've
Not,
been able to raise a lot of money and send it back to his family. So
yeah, we had, like I said, we had Troy on just before all of that stuff went live. I think it was just a couple days before all that went live. So, hi, Alice. Hi, sweetie. What do you think,
Kick ass.
Alice?
This thing is beautiful.
Yeah, this is amazing.
thanks, guys. We're really happy with it. We know you guys waited a long time for it. It obviously took longer than we originally estimated, but I hope you guys feel it was really well worth the wait,
Oh, yeah.
because we just really needed it. We had to have it be right before we could get it into your hands.
You know what? I appreciate that because honestly, I know there's people that get impatient and they want their stuff when it was originally projected, but that's inviting quality control issues um and who knows what other kinds of issues, and they'd be even more pissed. So honestly, yes, in my opinion, this thing was well worth the wait.
100%.
Really
Thanks,
appreciate
guys.
that, guys.
Appreciate it a lot.
I nothing about
This
this.
thing is amazing.
Yeah, nothing about this is like, everything about this is like, holy shit, this thing's amazing.
Well, that's what we wanted. I mean, we have been dying to get into everyone's hands, because we've been just as excited as everyone who's patiently, been waiting. And for the most part, everyone's been really good about it too. People have been very understanding,
A couple people.
very cool about it, understanding it's a process.
Yes.
We did our best to communicate, any delays and just be as open and transparent as possible. And
I think you guys have done an amazing job with that. Like,
Yeah, I would agree.
like you never went too long without communicating with us, and it really helps that you had like the Facebook group because
Yes.
it feels like you guys were never out of touch. Um,
The social
it,
media,
it,
That was
I mean, social media is definitely a double-edged sword for sure, but there are some positive uses for it, and that is definitely one of them, is to being able to communicate and say, hey, look, this is where we're at, this is where we expect to be at this point in time, and this is, what we're looking for. So
Yeah, we hope
um,
we hope also that we've obviously shipped a lot of quite a few figures in that time too, leading up to this. So we hope that gave everybody confidence that hey, this is coming, and it's gonna be fantastic when it's fully baked and ready to roll.
yeah, you know what?
yeah, I mean,
I do think that was a really nice way to go about it. Instead of making people wait until everything was done,
yeah,
sending out a little bit here and there, I really think, like, as it was ready, I really think that was a nice way to do it because it made the wait feel shorter than it actually
it did.
than it otherwise would have.
I would agree with that too. I think that was when I saw that the Skeledrons were coming out. I'm like, well, they're they've got something done. That's I mean,
Yeah, and that was thanks for bringing that up. We actually delivered the Skeledrones early, which was amazing. We're like, hey, we're actually getting these out ahead of our estimated date. But then from there, it was it's been getting things out, getting figures out, but it's definitely been a wait for this guy, and we're keenly aware that that we need to get these 6-inch figures out as quickly as we can too, and they're making good progress right now, even as we speak at the factory. And as soon as they're at the level that we all expect them to be at, then they'll be shipped to your door.
Do you guys have an idea on that, or just kind of taking it as it comes?
Yeah, it's tough because a lot of the things that we do have an idea. To answer your question, I'll get to that in a, right now we're gonna we think we're close on that 6-inch Wolf Trooper. So we believe right now it's gonna be early, early in the after the new year. But how early, we don't really know. And
I kind of figured probably
it's
have a date in mind.
yeah, so it's and so we've been communicating the dates that our factory gives us, really transparently. And so what's happened though is that, a lot of times we get a date and then those dates slide out.
Yeah.
So it's which is not ideal, not ideal for us and not ideal for you guys who are waiting, but we really don't have a strategy other than to be totally transparent with the information that we have. And so that's what we do, and we communicate every month in the Kickstarter, at a minimum monthly in the Kickstarter updates, and we'll continue to do that until the final piece delivers. uh, but it's been, honestly, this whole project has been such a joy, other than the timing, other than taking longer than what we originally, obviously it was an estimate when we do a Kickstarter, but it's taken, notably longer than what we originally estimated for a lot of this stuff. So we really appreciate, our customers all the backers' patience, and they've been 99.99% awesome about, appreciating what we're doing as far as getting product that we can out and being patient to get what's next. So it's been.
Was there ever a point where you were like, got worried that it wasn't going to happen?
No, not at all. That's just not, it's really not in the cards for us. We wouldn't have taken, and I know, different people have different approaches to a Kickstarter, but I certainly would have never done a Kickstarter if there was any possibility that we wouldn't fulfill it. That's never been an opportunity. And we said that from the beginning, like, hey, this is going to happen. The one thing that's outside of our, we can control the final quality, we can control the design, we can control a lot of things. The one thing that we can't, and again, I'm not trying to pass the buck here at all, like ultimately, like the buck stops here, but the dates are estimates, and that's something that could happen right on the Kickstarter. But no, we're delivering, and Mark and I have had lots of conversations about that, even in the level of like, if something were to happen to me, here's the steps that get taken to ensure this Kickstarter gets delivered. So
I get hit by the bus tomorrow.
It's so the 6-inch figures are going to come next, and they're going to be fantastic.
And then, of course, now that everybody has it or has it on the way, what's next for you guys?
Yeah, we're really excited about what's next. And one of the things that we still are really focused on is making sure that we get, that we are pushing and working with our factories closely as possible until that last thing off the Kickstarter delivers. We're at a point now where we have been able to start working on what's next. And so we've got more things coming down the road. We're not ready to reveal any of that yet. We probably won't reveal much until the final, until the things that everybody's already expecting are on the way. Although someone did just discover a bit of an Easter egg reveal earlier today that we put into our trading card sets that went out in the boxes to the people that got the flight stand. So so there is a new reveal that's actually at
I think I saw that posted. Is it a red shadow?
yeah, it's a new trooper coming out.
Nice.
That will be coming down the line here.
Now I can understand why you don't want to reveal, what your next project is, but if you're going to continue with the Palatoy type stuff, if you wanted to do like a brand new sea lion, I
Yeah.
think that would be I
That
think that would be bonkers and much appreciated because
Yeah.
there's a very good chance I will never a snowball's chance in hell that I'll ever own a sea lion. So if you guys just want to make a new one, that would be great. I'm just saying.
duly noted.
I
Add it to the list of suggestions, Mark. No, we've heard that one. We've heard that one a few times by some of our good friends too. The Sea
And
Light's super cool. It's a super cool vehicle. Really, you know, kind of a unique one of those more unique vehicles that came out in the
it's
from
it's
Palatoy.
one of those that I wish that we had gotten here in the US.
yeah.
And I'm a little jealous that they only got it over in Europe. And um there aren't too many of their vehicles. You know what, the Tri Fighter is kind of cool too, but I don't think most of their vehicles. I don't. I don't think they were. Um, I don't feel any particular jealousy except for the Roboskull and the Sea Lion. Um, so I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing whatever's next, but I'm also cool with you guys taking as long to reveal it as you want to because I have to imagine that a lot of this stuff was already in place before you even announced this thing. Um,
When you are ready to reveal it, we would like to have you back on the show to do it.
yes. Um,
Appreciate the invitation. Thank you so much.
So
um,
anytime you guys want to pimp stuff, you let us know, and you are always welcome back on the show.
I'm
Appreciate
sitting
that.
here just looking at this. I'm just marveling at the at the technical blueprints of this thing.
I know this
Like
thing's
like you
fantastic.
really listed all of the features, like in universe features of this thing, and damn, this is
Yeah,
good
we had some
stuff.
fun. We had some fun with that print. We really did have some fun with it. So I'm glad you're enjoying that. And then the other
And,
thing that's inside there in that packet is there is a decal sheet. It looks like a black and white decal sheet. So those are all glow in the dark effects.
Nice.
And
awesome.
and we do have as a surprise because we hadn't revealed this at all. But there is a really cool ghost flame effect on the decal sheet there to put flames on the wings, and then they're glow in the dark, and it's really a kick-ass decal set that Troy McKee actually proposed as an addition when we're like, let's do something cool, let's do something extra for the backers.
Boy,
uh
that guy sure has some good ideas, doesn't
yeah,
he?
he does, he's full of them. And I
Um,
just love how it turned out. So there's actually in our Skeletron Secret Lab group, there's a post of that, and I think maybe we did post that on our Instagram too. I can't remember where we've posted what. Some of the things we just posted in the group because we didn't want to do spoilers for people that hadn't gotten their Roboskulls yet.
I'm
But
very impressed and very intimidated by this sticker sheet here.
Well, good news on that sticker sheet, JD, is that's just an extra one for the cockpit stickers. So those are actually all already installed, so you don't have to worry about it. And we
Thank
just
you
we just included
from
that.
the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
That's just there for a backup plan in case anything, you spill a Coke on your Robo Skull and a sticker peels, you got a replacement set. So no, those are
I see.
completely,
Yes.
yeah, those are to be held in reserve.
excellent.
Okay, good. Because Buff Brecken was going to be laughing at me if I had to stick additional stickers inside this cockpit.
I was
You
going
know,
to be
it's
like,
it's it's funny because I loved doing the decals and the assembly of the vehicles when I was a kid.
yeah,
But as an adult, like I think like, oh, it'd be really fun to do that again. But I don't think so. I
It
don't think
turns out it's
anybody,
not
nope,
that much fun. Yeah.
no, I think nobody's got time for it anymore either, right? Like you don't have that like, Christmas Day to sit and put no step decals all over your vehicle like you did when you were a kid.
yeah.
Um,
I've done repro decals on all of the vehicles that I've done restorations on, and I've got a pair of like surgical needle nose tweezers that I use now, instead of just like slapping.
Smart.
It's so funny you say that, Brian, because that's exactly what I posted in the secret lab as a tip. Use tweezers when putting on these decals.
I mean,
Yeah, as soon as I start, if I
that's
put
that's what I
like
use for mine because I use the same ones to do my water slide decals on my customs.
Perfect.
my my Sky Striker from the HasLab, yeah, that doesn't have all that many additional stickers on it that weren't tampos because, and I love that the classified vehicles, they're all tampos, thank God. Because when I'm putting decals on, if I get the one that isn't straight, it's the one that stares me in the face when
Yep.
I look at the vehicle. I don't see all the ones. I have to inspect it to see the ones that I put on properly. It's the ones that I put on crooked that are like,
Those are
so
always the ones that, yeah, those are always the ones you see for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
look at this work of art. Viewers, seriously, if you're still waiting on yours, you've got a treat. And
Absolutely.
I it this was well worth the wait, you guys. Well worth the wait.
Thank
Awesome,
you.
I
guys.
think it's
Well,
time for us to do the questionnaire, man.
Oh, I think it is.
hey, before Mark, did we cover everything? You should show those guys the secret since they didn't look at the operations manual. You probably want to show them the
Here.
extra kind of secret
So
feature.
this guy here.
Yes.
All right. So one thing you can do, there's a stand, right, that came with for your prison transport.
Oh yeah, we
Your
didn't really
stand.
cover that either. So that stand can hold up the prisoner transport when it comes out.
Ah, nice.
Oh, that's like a hover field, like that was
Yeah.
underneath
Yeah.
Han Solo's carbonite block.
Very carbonite like. Yes.
Yes.
So I'm gonna take my
Yeah.
6-inch seat though, right?
Okay.
And remember that spot right there?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the back peg on that 6-inch seat, you
Oh,
put that
that's what
right
that's
there.
for. Oh
You
shit.
got a speeder.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, oh, that's awesome.
Here,
Nice.
I'll throw a guy in there.
Oh, and that's great because then he's still got the chin guns to defend himself against like, you know,
Exactly.
desert raiders or jungle pursuers or, you know, any such thing that this guy could run into.
I happen to have a 6-inch test wolf trooper here.
So there's
Ooh. Hey,
There
look
you
at
go.
that.
nice. Nice.
So yeah,
Nice.
and then the stand will plug in to the very bottom. So you can basically have that just kind of sitting like it's floating.
Little
That's
hovered
amazing.
speeder.
What a cool feature. Oh my God.
So yeah, they're
Um,
on the prison transport.
Yep.
Oh yeah, yep, floating there, just like the carbonite in front of Boba Fett. Um, oh, you nerds really get us.
We've got for GI Joe fans, we've even got some more like secret nerdy things in there. So one of our and only one of my friends loves the spring-loaded missile launchers, from the kind of that 30th, GI Joe 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
And those are on some of those weapons are on an 8.1 millimeter port system.
Okay.
And so if you look at that outside of that wing, in the center of the wing, there's a hole right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can actually mount some additional weaponry right into that porthole, including some of those missile launchers, just to give it because it doesn't have quite
Sweet.
enough firepower yet, right? So you can.
Right.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Yeah, I was noticing. I was just looking at that. I'm like, what? You could plug something into that pretty easily.
Yes, you can. And so there's some other systems that are using that 8.1 millimeter port system too. So Rage and Spoon's got a complex series that's coming out it's delayed, but it is coming. And so that'll have like missile launchers and crazy stuff that use that 8.1 millimeter port as well.
I love that you guys are that there's a collaboration behind the scenes with different companies
Yeah.
that you can mix and match these things. That it's like I feel like it's unnecessary, but it's such a nice treat that it's very much appreciated.
Well, it's fun for us. You know, we're in this hobby because we're collectors and we love this stuff, and that's why, you know, that's why we're here. Is that we just kept kind of going deeper and deeper down that rabbit hole. And what's amazing and wonderful is that the creators in this community are by and large every bit as cool as the collectors and everybody. So we just really love this collector community so much. And it's really fun that it's fun to be a part of it. It's fun to have the, you know, to have our friends support us, and fellow collectors support us on this, and then to have opportunities to work and collaborate with just all kinds of really cool people like you know, Troy and John Kukovic over at Grindstone Toys, like we mentioned, Chris Scott over at Grindhouse, and so many great people. I mean, there's so much cool stuff coming out. I'm so pumped for Cyberzoic, David Silva over at, you know, just amazing
Dude, that's
stuff
some
over
really
there.
nice stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, the list goes on and on. The
Yeah,
guys over at
definitely.
Formo Toys that are doing those really cool, you know, Legends of Dragonor figures and that awesome new dragon. I mean, it's just so many cool people making cool stuff right now. It's a
You
ton.
mean the dragon that looks like it's going to be the size of a Power Wheels vehicle that a kid would drive? Um,
Yeah, that thing.
That might
yeah.
be the mythic. That might be the Mythic Legions one. You
Yeah,
know,
that's,
Oh,
that
maybe
keeps
that's what
coming
I'm
out.
thinking
That
of.
one's real big.
Yeah, I saw pictures of this thing and I'm just like, are they for real with this?
yeah,
This is one of those things where
something like that.
I don't I don't have the space for it, but sure wish I did.
I know. There's so much cool stuff out there.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
and then one last thing, guys. I know we just keep going on all the play features for this Roboskull.
Dude, feel
Um,
free. This is why we
when
have you guys on the show, so you can
if
talk this thing up as much as you want.
so in the eye cannons and in the chin guns, we've actually set those up to take blast effects as well. So you can add more blast effects. And one of the things that we wanted to do, just as an added value for for all of our backers, when you get if you did order, for anyone that ordered that elite flight stand, we actually packed extra black as a bonus. We didn't talk about it. People found out when they got the flight stands that are shipping and just arriving now. There's actually six blast effects that came in the flight stand, and those go right into the eye cannons and into the chin guns.
You
So
know, I didn't get a flight stand because I really didn't think I'd need one. I might have to I might have to rectify that at some point.
Actually, if I ordered one or not now.
but if you take like a blast effect off a rifle from like the classified line, so those will fit right in, or a lot of other lines, you can pop it
Cool.
in there. So
Cool.
again, just having a lot of fun with thinking about that playability and how to have some fun and some creativity and use your imagination, right?
Yeah,
Or,
absolutely.
or just, you know, put it on the shelf and gaze at the terrifying beauty of the Roboskull. Really, it's up to you.
Okay, real quick, I'm looking at the display behind you, Ben. You've got six, seven. No, there's one original Robo Skull. No, two original Robo Skulls, it looks like.
Yeah,
And then,
I got a custom by Shannon Pittman that my good buddy Andrew Felsberg hooked me up with. So that's a
Nice.
pretty awesome one. If you can see that,
Yeah.
okay.
that
Oh,
word.
it's a custom Robo,
That's
like
a
original
custom.
Robo Skull.
Yeah, that's a TIE Fighter Storm Shadow version Robo Skull, which again is
Damn.
my Storm Shadow is my guy. So it's a
I was gonna say
shadow.
you've got a Storm Shadow statue behind there.
Yeah,
Um,
I love me some Storm Shadow, my favorite figure from my childhood. And then over here, this is just a bunch of test shots. So this is just
okay, I was
showing
gonna
up other
ask if they
stuff.
were prototypes or
Yeah, yeah.
oh, that's
So
cool. So how many prototypes were there, like total?
I lost track. And so some of it was, I mean, each part of this had to be, depending on what it was, had to be revised, you know, multiple
Right.
times. And it's interesting. It was interesting to me because the things that you would not, it wasn't always the thing that you expected would be complicated and hard to do, which was the thing that
It
you
would
had to
be something
revise
that
so many
you
times.
thought that'll be straightforward.
Yeah,
No, it
and
wasn't.
some of the things like the articulation on the wings, like, and I just love how well that works. And
Yeah,
just
That's
that really
beautiful. Yeah.
nice, like the
that's it.
landing gear snapping out in the folding wings. Like that was something that they just nailed it out of the gate. And then there were other things that were way less complicated that ultimately just kind of had to go back for multiple revisions. So really every facet of the whole skull, it really depended on what it was, and so many tools, right, that had to be revised to get the final product to be
Hang
just
on, my firstborn is here. Hey, look at this.
It's fucking awesome.
The
I fucking
Robo
love
Skull.
that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Hell
And
yeah.
the eyes glow in the dark.
good.
So wait, can we hang on a second? Oh, there's too much light.
Yeah,
All
it's too
right.
much.
Well, I had to try. So yes, yes, we waited 3 years for this, but oh, it was worth it.
Oh
Every
yeah.
second. All right.
All right, guys. Well, we'll let you. I guess we can let you get to your questions.
Yeah.
um,
Go ahead and start the questionnaire if you would,
yeah.
please.
The first question. You know what? Let me explain real quick. We started this
Yeah.
thing as the Colbert questionnaire from Stephen Colbert's late night show, but we've evolved it to have some of our own questions. So, but we start with the original question. He started with, "What is the best sandwich?"
Nice. I best sandwich. That's tough. I would have to go with me as far as what I eat. A meatball sandwich for me.
I like a good meatball sandwich.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, it's probably like a Potbelly's pizza sandwich.
Ooh, that sounds good too.
I don't even know what that is, but I want to try one. So,
All right.
um,
What is one thing that you own that you really should throw out?
Hmm.
Depends who you ask. You're asking me?
yeah,
Yes.
both of you.
Yeah.
Um,
So I think what we'll do is we'll go Ben and then Mark because it's left to right on my screen. So
Good, I get to think longer.
Yeah, I mean, asking a collector if there what one thing that they have that they should throw out is
Yep.
it's tough. I've got to be perfectly honest, I wouldn't throw it out, but I have a lot of toys that I eventually have to move along and get rid of. So I'm kind of at that point where I'm going to be going over to my local friends at Midwest Vintage Toys with a pile of action figures that I just can't display. And so for me, the things come in, and then at a certain point, I do have to release them back and let somebody else enjoy them because I have a bit of a problem when it comes to buying action figures. So
I mean, it's a familiar problem we can identify.
so I would say as far as what I need to throw out right now, like actually in the trash, I'm gonna let a bunch of I've got a giant stack of that those plastic the plastic inserts for Roboskulls that you guys just
Oh
pulled
yeah,
out of the
oh
box.
yeah.
I gotta let some of those go. And some of them are like, because they're like prototype versions. We actually went through multiple revisions and shipped those. It's like I've got a stack of like plastic Roboskull clear cases that it's time. They're gonna have to go. They're gonna
Does
have
your
to go in
city
the
pick up
recycle bin.
recycling?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
So that's as far as throwaways, that's probably next for me.
excellent. Mark, how about you?
Oh, there's so much. My
we're all
His
dead
Tank
rats.
box that's completely empty because I opened it. I don't need that box anymore. I'm holding it just because I don't know. I went through this whole box purge not too long ago where I'm just like, I'm not holding boxes. I'm just getting rid of boxes. And so I
I did
just
the
did it.
same
And I'm
thing.
like, oh, I feel great.
I
I
did the
also have a
same thing.
3D printed Robo Skull that I don't need. Probably a lot of test shots that I don't need. Not just because they're not cool, but like you can see with Ben there, it's like they add up over time.
Oh,
So
yeah. No, I did the same thing this year with we had a like 2 months worth of episodes where I just opened something every episode and opened like a ton of stuff. I
Yeah,
mean,
he was waiting till he got a display like he was waiting until he got his collector room in the shape he wanted and some shelves up. So yeah, he just started like stuff that he's had that he bought 8 years ago. It was just sitting around, and he finally got a chance to open it because he could set it up.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, I completely understand that one. All right, JD.
okay. What is the scariest animal?
Oh, Ben, it's a shark. Sorry, Ben, it's a shark.
It's a shark.
Yeah. I knew mine instantly. I'd give you time, but for me, it's a shark. And I live in Minnesota.
Um, you know, you never know. There could be one in the lake up there. You never know. I mean,
Oh
how we
man, I
get
was
there,
out in
we don't
San
know.
Diego
But
and no, I was in San Diego in August and I did not wade very far into the ocean, let me tell you. And I'm
dude, I
watching
don't
these
blame you.
surfers. I'm like,
The
you guys are
ocean,
nuts.
the ocean's scary. There's a
It's
hundred
scary.
ways to die in the ocean, on the
Yeah.
ocean, in the ocean. You know what? I don't care how big the cruise ship is. No, thank you.
Yeah. I don't belong in the
Nope, I'm
ocean,
good.
in the middle of the ocean. I don't belong anywhere near an ocean. We'll just say that.
Yeah, I'm from Colorado. I don't know. I know fuck all about the ocean. I worked offshore on oil platforms for a long time, for a number of years. Hated every minute of it.
Yeah.
I can't walk away from it. All right.
But,
And what do you
well,
got?
I got a follow-up question for Mark. Like, do you know where that comes from? Are you one of those kids that saw Jaws when you were way too
Yes.
young?
Yes. And then I would torture myself when Shark Week would come on because it's like this morbid fascination. It's like I'm scared of sharks, but man, they're cool. I watch it and
The
then I
whole
have
week of
shark
shark
dreams.
programming. I mean,
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
Jaws,
I
Jaws
could
got me.
I could see a morbid fascination with it. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm struggling to come up with the right answer. I used to catch snakes when I was a little kid, and and I had
wow, you're
so I
crazy.
had like pet snakes, and I had lizards, and
Mike was the same way.
I guess I'm gonna say the things that creep me out the most are like hairy, like a hairy spider,
Oh
or
yeah,
even
yeah. Those
like a big hairy moth. Like those really big moths just really
Yeah.
gross me out.
Yeah.
yeah, the tarantula, yeah, they can go to hell. Go burn in hell. You creepy, creepy thing.
All
I don't
right.
worry about sharks much though, because I live in Minnesota, so
Yeah.
it's not really top of mind.
Yeah, fair
Well, have
Yeah.
you seen Sharknado? I'm not saying it's possible. I'm
You
not
hear
saying
that,
it's
Ben?
not.
Sharknado.
There you go.
I
Uh,
mean,
I
there's five
never
movies about how that's very
I
possible.
I'm
never
just
See?
considered
sure that you
that.
live in Sharknado Alley too. I think Eastern end of
Yeah. My
Sharknado Alley.
fear is legit. It's legit.
Absolutely. All right, Ben, coffee. How do you take it?
With cream, no sugar, cream. Lots of I love the cream. Drink a lot of
Flavored
coffee
or
every
just
day.
like half and half?
What's that?
Flavored or just like half and half?
Any way I can get it. I'll take just regular cream's great. I like the vanilla cream. I like the fancy sweet cream. Yeah, coffee and cream all day, every day.
All right. Mark.
I take it and I dump it in the sink, and then I make Earl Grey tea with honey. That's how I take it.
I think he's serious, by the way, and he
I'm
drinks that
dead
tea
serious.
every day.
Every day.
And this is a great question because this circles back to a little little factoid coming back to the Roboskull Mark II special. The special edition includes that Red Weasel pilot.
Yes.
And if you look at his face, he bears a striking the pilot, the pilot there, Brian. I don't know if you've got him handy.
I do.
But yeah, open him up there. If you take his helmet off and look at his ugly mug, it bears a striking resemblance to a Mr. O'Byrne right here.
Well, we need a hat for him first.
Absolutely.
Hey,
How about
speaking
there?
of those
He
hats,
took his Brian. He's got his hat off.
There you
now,
go,
so
Brian.
starting
I'll
to
just
get
take my hat off.
Okay. Because I got one here.
you got a Marauder hat sitting there, don't
Oh,
you?
nice. So there, yeah.
Nice.
You see that? You guys,
Yeah,
you
but
see the resemblance?
The thing that he's missing there, though, that came in the pack is his tea mug.
See, that's a coffee mug to me.
Yeah, it's tea.
There's where I was going with it.
I love it because it causes such a debate in the chats. It's like, oh, look at Red Weasel with his coffee, and it's like, no, it's tea. Wait, no, it's coffee.
It's the canon is on that guy that's T.
It even made it. It made it to the data file too.
Oh, that's so
There are
funny.
two things this ace pilot never misses: his target and afternoon tea.
Excellent. I love it. I love it.
Do you ever watch Ted Lasso? And Ted Lasso on the show, he doesn't like tea. He's an American who moved to England. He doesn't like tea. He calls it
That's the
pigeon
best.
sweat. He calls it pigeon sweat, and I like tea, but I can't help but laugh at that.
I never let the British take that from me, you know? It's like, no.
I have a pretty funny story about tea. So when I was in Ukraine, my supervisor was British, and my boss was South African, and my boss was in visiting for the week, and it was 4th of July. So I came in, boss is there, supervisor's there. My supervisor goes, "Happy Treason Day, you uppity colonist." I walked over to his desk. I picked up his tea. I walked over to the garbage can and I dropped it in the trash right in front of the boss. Boss
You
just
recreated the Boston Tea Party for your
that's
book.
great.
boss just lost his shit. And to this day, he's like, he still tells that story. He's like, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen. Because I didn't say a word, just picked up his tea and threw it away.
That's funny.
That's awesome.
All right. JD.
Have you ever asked somebody for their autograph, Ben?
Yes, I have. Larry
Please say
Hama.
Jason Mewes. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
I got Larry Hama's when I met Larry for the first time for sure. And I think maybe other than that, it was probably like Jason Mewes.
Jay Mewes did sign.
Hey,
so did Brian O'Halloran.
Yeah, Brian O'Halloran was there too. And I got his signature. So, but yeah, I'm not a signature collector. It's not.
Neither am I. I've only got a couple of autographs, but
Yeah,
I love this question.
The last two signatures I did get though, and I don't know if they're on key, if you can see, but I've got this carded our O-ring Skeletron up here. I don't know if you guys can see that in the background.
Yeah, I can see it.
At Joe Fest, I had Bob Breakin sign it, and then I also had Doug Hart, who did
the packaging artist. Yeah.
So Doug Hart did our
awesome
intro art, and who of course is, for those that are listening that don't maybe know, he was also a packaging artist on GI Joe.
Battle Core. I love his Battle Core art so much.
Yes.
So
I get some of my custom figures autographed. So that's my
So Mark, what about you with the autographs?
No, I don't. I think Jay Mewes was maybe the only one. And no, I got nothing. When I was a kid, I remember the Minnesota Vikings had 4 players come to our school in elementary, and I remember they signed my Vikings t-shirt.
That's cool though. That's cool.
Yeah. So that was probably that. And then my friend brought back a program from a NASCAR race that Dale Earnhardt had signed, but that's it when I was a kid. So
nice.
I do. Okay, guys, I got one more signature story. Okay,
go for it.
So my sister-in-law works in Hollywood, and several years back, she was working with Stanley, and I always drink my coffee out of like a Spider-Man, out of a Marvel mug, like Spider-Man, Captain America, like these really cool solid red, solid blue mugs. So I shipped her. She goes, we're really not supposed to do this, but he's really nice to me, and he'll sign a couple things. I'm like, this is amazing. So I shipped her one of these mugs that I drink out of, that I use every day, and and I sent her the silver Sharpie and the whole thing, and she got it. She got Stan Lee to sign my mug, and she shipped it back to me, and I was like, this is so amazing. And I got it, and I looked at it, I was like, this is fantastic. And I set it down, and I went off to work, and I got home from work at the end of the day, and I said to my wife, I said, hey, where'd my Stan Lee signature signed mug go? And she's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I just got it from your sister. And she, it was I think I left it on the dining room table. And she's like, oh, uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
And we went to the dishwasher and
No.
pulled out the dishwasher, reached in, and I grabbed my Stan Lee signed mug, and the entire signature had been removed completely, its existence off of my mug.
But hey, you have a really good dishwasher.
I do. Yeah, it was impressive. It was dried Sharpie, and it came off. It was unbelievable. It was impressive.
I mean, you got to enjoy it for a few minutes at least. Damn. I thought for sure you were gonna say, it went off the counter and hit the floor or something, but
it may as well
dishwasher might be just as bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
still have my mug formerly signed by Stan Lee around here. So
that sucks.
All right. Let's see. Ben, what do you think happens when we die?
Oh wow. I'm gonna go with I'm just gonna say I don't know. I really don't know.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna leave it there.
Fair enough.
We'll find out when you get there and not before then.
Mark?
Heaven, baby. Going to heaven. At least I hope I am.
Right?
That's the goal. That's my mission.
Good enough.
Favorite action movie.
Deep. Wow, I didn't know we were gonna get so I didn't know we were gonna get so philosophical in here.
This questionnaire runs the gamut from collecting things to give us your philosophical thoughts on the afterlife. So your favorite action movie.
Oh man, I'm gonna go. It's tough. The first thing that popped into my head though is Bloodsport.
All right.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, that's sick.
That's classic Van Damme.
Oh, I was just gonna say Claude Van Damme.
It's a sentimental favorite for me. I also happen to know it's David Silva over at Creative Beasts. It's his. I know for certain he's told me it's his favorite movie of all time. So maybe that's why we were talking about it so long ago. But Bloodsport's gotta be. It's up there, if not number one for me.
Right on. All right, Mark.
Well, I guess what classifies an action movie? Because my first thought's always Lord of the Rings for anything, because it's got action, it's got.
I'd say it's an action movie. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, and and some of these. I mean, it sounds when you look at it, it's like, oh, that's a pretty simple, pretty easy question, and then you start to think about it for a second, and it's like, oh man. And I'll tell you what, we definitely appreciate you guys answering this, because everybody that watches the show, I mean, they love this feature.
Does everybody know what your picks are on all these things already?
The very first time we brought this up, I presented the questionnaire to Brian, and then his wife took the questionnaire, I think an episode later. Yep. And then the third time, Brian presented me with the questionnaire, so we have answered it, but it has been a while.
Yeah, so, I want to know, what's your guys? Because I feel like I said Bloodsport, but I'm like, does Pulp Fiction count? Because that's one of my favorite movies.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it'd probably be Pulp Fiction. Really,
my favorite action movies vacillate between The Mummy from 1999 or RoboCop.
Mine always goes between Indiana Jones, the first Indiana Jones movie, and Highlander.
Nice.
And it's funny you should ask that, because no one has asked that, but JD and I've talked about it a couple of times off the air. Our answers are probably different every time we have it.
Absolutely, because there's movies that I don't know if they're favorites, but I can sit down and watch them over and over and over again. Um, and I've got a whole list of those movies. I mean, everything from a couple of the Star Wars movies to Captain Marvel to Constantine.
Yeah.
That's recently added to my rotation because I rewatched it about a month ago for the first time in years and years, and I've now watched it twice all the way through, and then I've watched it with YouTube reactors 3 more times with 3 different reactors.
Wow.
So,
I can't count the
so
number of times I've seen Constantine, and my wife absolutely loves that one too. All
Well,
right.
confession time. I haven't seen it, so now I definitely have to
Damn.
check it
I
out.
haven't either.
uh,
It's
it's a great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
And I think they're doing a sequel. I think there's a sequel planned maybe next year or the year after. I think they said they got Keanu Reeves to come back to do a sequel. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Sweet.
All right, Ben, favorite smell?
I'm gonna say
Always a fun question.
fresh bread. I love bread.
Oh,
I like
that's a
Mm.
good one.
Yeah. Mark.
Boy, I go back and forth between every morning I have a ritual. It's my tea ritual. And when I take that Earl Grey tea out, I take that jar and I smell that and then I put it back. That every morning I do that. It doesn't matter. But then there's no smell quite like walking into a really good pizza joint. So those
Oh,
are my two
yeah.
favorites.
Oh, yeah.
Do you ever walk up to the kettle and say tea, Earl Grey, hot, like Jean-Luc Picard?
No, but I wanted to name my cat Earl Grey, but I couldn't because it was a female cat and my wife wouldn't let me, so or my kids
Oh,
wouldn't.
wait, what is the cat's name?
Asha.
Asher. Okay.
She's a great
Um,
cat. I wanted it to be either Earl Grey or Gandalf the Grey. Those were my two choices, and I
nice.
didn't get either. So
Well,
Um,
if I had a
well,
boy cat and it was gray, it would have been Gandalf, I think.
if it helps anything, there is an Ewok from the animated Ewok series named Asha. So,
Okay.
and she's one of the badasses in Bright Tree Village. So,
Well, I did give her that name, so at least I did get my
there you
top
go.
name choice. So
There you go.
all right, JD.
I'm glad I could help. Your least favorite smell?
Um,
These
I'm
are
gonna go
fun
like
questions.
I'm
I
gonna go
love the
like a
variety
dead
of
like
answers we get.
dead body dead bodies probably, not that I've ever,
O'Brien smelled plenly of them. He's a paramedic, so
yeah.
Nothing smells as bad as something that's been dead for a couple weeks.
mm, it's gotta be corn nuts. I hate the smell of corn nuts. Hate it. You
um,
know that.
That's a great answer.
funny story. About 10 years ago, 12 years ago, my son was a baby. He's 11 now, so yeah, it was about 10 years ago. His mother and I were sitting there eating our snacks. She had ranch flavored corn nuts, and I'm like, I got a notoriously bad sense of smell, but I smelled those. I'm like, oh my god, those. I'm like, those have that's a special scent.
That is
um,
one of those COVID take my smell away. I just get
yeah,
it
that
out of
was
here.
that was yeah, it was like specific. Like once I noticed it, I couldn't unnotice it, and then once you finally finished eating them, I'm like, thank God. A week later, I opened the bag of I think they were spare rib flavored potato chips. I opened the bag and she's like, hurry up with that. That smells worse than you said the corn nut smelled. So I can identify.
Impossible. That's not possible.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Spare
I
rib
like corn.
sounds awesome.
I like them. I'll eat a cor- I'll get up a bag of corn nuts.
Hey,
No.
nothing wrong with eating them, but boy, there's no way they can disguise that smell.
Uh-uh. All right. Ben, what was your first concert?
Oh man, my first concert was going to a show in Somerset, Wisconsin called Edge Fest, and it was incredible. I got to see Faith No More and the
I've heard of
Ramones,
Edge Fest. I have heard of
like
it.
all these totally awesome bands. It was like a multi-day, we camped out and got into trouble, and it was the best. It was the best.
Mark.
1995, Smashing Pumpkins, Melancholy Infinite Sadness tour.
Oh man, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
Did
that
they
was a
sing
good one.
1979?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Because if you went to a concert where they didn't sing that, I would say that wasn't really worth it. But all right, good.
Yeah.
Well, that was part of that album, so it was good.
I feel like you guys, I gotta get the answers from you guys now too. Like,
my first concert was Huey Lewis and the News, Small World tour.
my wife loves Huey Lewis in the News. We listen to Huey here. We're a Huey household.
Excellent.
Loves it.
Yeah.
In 2002, at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, I saw the Charlie Daniels band. And there were other bands there too. I don't remember any of them in particular. But the year before that, my friend and I went into Washington, D.C., and we found a local music club, and they had a few bands there that he recognized. I don't know any of them. One of the bands was called Dismemberment Plan, and I still listen to that album sometimes. So that was technically my first concert, my first live music event. But yeah, Charlie Daniels was my first like widely known concert. So
excellent.
Nice.
All right, JD.
Cool.
Soda or pop? There's one right answer.
Well,
yeah, it's pop.
There we go.
I feel like where we live in Minnesota, it's kind of a both thing. Like right?
Okay.
Yeah, but what did we grow up with, Ben?
Pop.
There we go. All right. See, that's the right answer.
No, that's not the right answer.
That is the right answer.
It is evolving. It's really weird. It's like I even use soda now. It's
graphical.
Weird.
There you go. There's
soda. No, you bake with soda. You drink pop.
Soda. I mean, JD, I'm sorry. Soda's gaining traction, at least in this hood. I mean, like, it's
soda. We are the pro soda.
Just being honest.
Yeah. You know what? To quote President Bartlett on The West Wing, you just stand there in your wrongness, be wrong, and get used to it.
Okay.
All right. What is the most used app on your phone?
I mean, it's gotta be Facebook.
Yeah.
Or Outlook or Messenger. I don't know. Yeah, one of those.
Messenger and Facebook, those are pretty universal answers.
Yeah.
Yeah, email, that's boring but true, right? My mail app.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty common answer because I mean most of the guys that we've had on recently, we had Mark on from Gridiron, and Craniac was on, and it's just a bunch of the creative people that we've had on, and that's how they make a living, is social media. So it's Facebook and Instagram are definitely the two top picks for most of the
Although interestingly enough, I would say between midnight and 3 a.m. it's probably WeChat, huh, Mark? With
yeah,
we got a lot of that's our witching hour for factory conversations with overseas.
Yeah, that makes sense. Wait, when do you sleep exactly? Here and there, a little bit. Yeah. Cat naps during the day.
Mark, same answer or a different answer?
No, same answer. Yeah.
Kind of figured.
What song plays when you walk on screen? What's your like your wrestling entrance theme?
Yeah. Well, right now I'm just gonna say it's gonna be "I Get to Drive It" by Word Burglar. Have you guys checked out that track?
No. Is that the new one? I don't think I've heard it
yet. That is Word Burglar's song that he wrote about the Roboskull from the perspective of the pilot. Hence, I Get to Drive It.
Oh, now I have to check that out. I don't know how I missed it.
Yeah, so that's on we actually have a 7-inch vinyl record with that track on at skeletron.com. Or if you're not playing 7-inch vinyls at your house, which would be understandable,
Yeah.
you can actually listen to it on Spotify too.
Oh, sweet, sweet.
Yeah, mine's gonna be Disc Wars from the Tron soundtrack.
Ooh. I like
Wait, the original Tron or the sequel?
Tron Legacy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you looking just off topic? Are you looking forward to the Tron Ares movie next year?
Sadly, I am not. As much as Legacy is like it's one of my all-time favorite movies. I watch it all the time. Like you guys watch Constantine, I watch Tron Legacy. Tron Ares, I am I'm so nervous about it. I was nervous about it like when I was nervous about The Hobbit coming out because I kind of knew what was I suspected what was well, I shouldn't even say that about The Hobbit. I was disappointed with The Hobbit, but yeah. I don't know. I've just seen too many movies go the wrong direction, so
that's
franchises.
yeah, that's how Matrix is for me. I absolutely love the first one, and then just it it didn't need a sequel.
I really like the first one, and then I like the third one. I don't remember the second one, and I have zero reason to see the last one. So
We did go see the fourth one. It wasn't too bad, but again, I was disappointed. All right, Ben, what number am I thinking of?
3.
Nope. Mark.
Ooh, 77.
Ooh, closer, but nope. There is a right answer to that. Nobody knows it. It's a geek question. Somebody's going to get it one of these days.
I have absolutely no idea what the answer is. The only time I gave this when I gave it to Brian, I had to come up with the number. He didn't guess the right number, but I had to come up with it. And he asks this every other time, and I don't know what the answer is. So I'm dying to see if somebody does guess it someday because he said he's going to send them a prize if they ever do. So.
Yep. There will be a prize because I don't change it. It's the same answer all the time. So
Do you ever give hints like between 1 and 100, or could it be any number?
no, it's less than 100 and it's
Okay.
greater than one. So it's a 2-digit number, and it's a
See,
very
if I would have just asked more questions, I wouldn't have guessed 3.
second guess.
No, I don't want to. You don't need to give me another one. I want to play fair. I got one shot at it. We'll leave it. This is a tip for your regular viewers now. Now they can hone in on it when they come in and watch.
Oh, I want to play 22.
Ooh, so close. Very close.
Oh, close enough.
Almost half of it. All right.
Describe what?
Oh, no. Yep. Go ahead. Sorry.
Describe the rest of your life in 5 words. This is a fun question.
It's fun to watch the sheer panic in people's
yeah.
Yes, this.
Yeah.
Some people they just spit it out. Other people, it's just like deer in the headlights.
Look,
5 words. Is it 5 words? It's gonna be 5 words exactly?
Yep, 5 words.
5 words. Okay. I'm gonna go really great times with toys.
I like it.
All right, there you go. Perfect.
The greatest story ever told.
All right. Oh, I like it.
Yeah, very nice.
This questionnaire came about because one day I sat there, I found a YouTube playlist of celebrities taking this quiz. Stephen Colbert would answer the questions, and the celebrities would answer that. Now I can't tell you how many times they were either really thrown off by a question or the sheer panic at some of these. I'm like, yep, they're people too. They got the same. Oh shit, I don't know how to answer that. So I like hearing the answers to this question.
Absolutely.
You really just want to mess with people. I got you. I heard that.
Oh,
I heard you.
Oh yeah, it's you know what? It is a bit of morbid fascination. So a little bit.
It is. It really is. All right, Ben, aisle or window seat?
Oh, aisle, 100% every time.
My answer.
Don't mind getting hit by the beverage cart, huh?
Aisle every time. Aisle.
Man, all right.
Wow.
Bunch of
You're
weirdos.
both slightly masochistic, but that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm not kink shaming.
It's the airspace. You get a little more, you know, you get a
Yeah.
more.
But
you
what
get
if
more
somebody
room.
farts as they walk down the aisle?
I call that carpet bombing.
Prop dusting has not been the biggest problem on the plane, guys. Come on. I mean, what
You
are
call
you?
it crop dusting too. That's funny.
Yeah, I call
My-
carpet bombing.
I like crop dusting in a store and then you leave the aisle. So
Yeah. All right, JD.
here we go. Here's one. Best action figure.
Storm Shadow version 1, 1984.
There you go.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
the fastest anybody's ever answered that question.
I think so.
This is more what we usually see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
I
is what
mean-
I did. I think I mulled this question over for 10 minutes while we
Okay,
were
it was like
recording.
it's JD was like, no, wait, no, no.
Yeah, I had trouble with this. So
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, it's like best versus favorite.
either way, you know what? You can go either direction you want.
That's what I went with, Mark. Best and favorite, all in one. That's why I had no hesitation on it. But if
Yeah,
you-
I mean, my favorite figure was always the Crimson Guard. So just the OG O-ring Crimson Guard.
Nice. I like it.
Nice.
All right. Ben, favorite custom that you've made?
Oh, that I've made? Gosh, I haven't made a good custom in years. But I'm gonna go with. I carded this custom actually years ago. It was a gift for my brother-in-law, who was in the Marines. So he was a sniper trainer. And
Okay.
so I made him his own action figure, carded it. I put the art on, like, you know, did the whole thing, and gave him a code name, headshot, like did the whole, you know, had a really had a great time with it. And he's not a collector at all, but he's got it hanging in his man cave. And he's told me when I've seen, he's like, number one thing people ask about, coolest thing in his man cave.
That's awesome.
Is his GI Joe of himself that I made for him. So
see, I feel like a non-collector can appreciate that as much or more than a collector, because it's definitely something that it would jump out at somebody that would see it, be like, "Oh, what's the story here?" So
yeah, it was great. He's also he is a huge zombie guy. So and he was on the sort team for the prison, you know, for special. And so I called it I did him up as a Zort guy. So he's a zombie, you know, he's a zombie sniper.
Nice.
nice.
Mark.
Boy, I used to customize more so when I was a kid. Like I remember specifically taking a DC Hawkman figure, clipping off all the wing stuff, and then adding stuff to make him into a Batman. So yeah, clipping down his ear, like the wings on his
Yeah.
head, made a Batman out of him.
Right on.
Yep. I took one of those cards you remember the Topps cards from the '89 Batman?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I
those
cut out
very well.
I cut out the bat symbol off of that to make his bat logo too. So that's
Oh,
what got
I like
glued
it.
on.
That's
Yeah.
no, that's cool. I like that kind of resourcefulness.
Yeah.
Yeah, multimedia. I like it.
I actually gave Mark, you remember I made you a custom action figure?
Dude, I still have it. Epic Man.
It was part of this is really nerdy. So this was a gift for Mark after a successful ERP implementation project at work. So
Yeah.
What is ERP? Just for context.
enterprise resource planning software. So it's like basically it's the big software like SAP or that kind of thing that a corporate company would run when you try to get all of your systems running on one system in a company.
Your quote to cash business system. So every department's in it, from sales to engineering, production, finance, purchasing. So it runs the company.
Gotcha.
That's cool.
So Mark led that implementation, and as a, you know, And he got a custom action figure out of it.
It was great.
I like
Yeah,
that. Yeah, that's
he's in my desk. I gotta pop him out.
Nice.
just out of here. You know what? You should post him in the Skeletron group. Be like, this is epic, man.
I'm gonna put Epic Man in the Robo Skull.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's cool.
All right, JD.
One geek grail. If money is no object, this is just a geeky thing that you would love to own.
Oh, that's easy for me. I want back to Storm Shadow. I want 1984 Hector Garrido packaging art for Storm Shadow. That's my grail. And it's at Hasbro, so I don't think it's an option for me, but I did hear maybe
the Impossible theme song playing in the background.
What's that?
I can hear the Mission Impossible theme song starting to play in the background as you go into Hasbro to steal it.
Yeah, it's cross. I mean, that scenario has literally gone through my mind. The cat, like the cat burglar, right? Idea.
Yeah.
But I did hear that they're thinking about maybe auctioning off certain things within Hasbro. So I doubt they would let a piece like that go. But
yeah,
well,
but
maybe they'll auction off the 25th anniversary version where they did an okay job of trying to copy what Hector Garrido perfected.
I mean,
Hector Garrido was a master. So
yeah,
he was phenomenal.
There's absolutely no argument with that.
Mark.
Well, nothing really comes to mind. There's one figure that, I have wanted. It is a alternate paint job on a wild weasel that has him in a gray and red paint version. That one I always thought was pretty cool. So that would be one that I would, yeah.
Is that the 25th anniversary era?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just really like that look. They never released it, so I thought it was pretty cool.
I was gonna say I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah. So
was it in the comics? Because every once in a while, Wild Weasel would show up in the comics in some color other than red.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I just someone had shown me that figure once. I think it was the Joe Declassified group, and it caught my attention.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, now I'm gonna have to look for that.
Yeah. Well, Mark, you know some guys over there. Maybe you should
I know some guys. Again, just one of those things I haven't really, looked at pursuing. So, but yeah.
As far as attainable things that are hard to get, I would really love to get a like a mint boxed Palatoy Roboskull. Would be pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, just having the original Palatoys is definitely on my grail list. The one that I always pick is screen used Iron Man Mark III armor.
And me, I want the Book of the Dead from the Mummy. Replica, the original, I don't know, whatever. Preferably not one that somebody could read and actually summon Imhotep, but I mean, if it happens, it could be cool too. I mean,
okay, if we're talking unattainable grail stuff, which I guess that was the question, it would be a full set of armor of the elvish armor from the prologue of Fellowship of the Ring.
Okay.
I would want that full armor set.
Yes.
So the battle that took place 3,500 years before Frodo was sitting in the Shire. Nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, I like that.
Does Mandalorian armor come anywhere near that, Mark, or is that?
Oh, no. Well, I mean, yeah.
It's like I said, man.
I got to start, Ben, with that.
Look at that.
Yeah, first piece of Beskar.
Yeah.
But I also got to start with this too. So,
Oh my God, look at that.
Nice.
Oh my God, that point that looks very stabby, right?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, be careful with that.
Yeah.
I'd put my eye out with that. We've had to change this one, so you guys are the first ones to get to answer this one. Ben, who is your favorite comic book artist?
Oh, that's a good one. That's tough.
Yeah, you guys are the first to answer this because we just changed it.
I gotta go with I gotta go with Jim Lee. That's
Fantastic answer.
that's
Answer.
that's yeah. I'm going with Jim
That
Lee.
is, there is, the dude is synonymous with '90s art.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, phenomenal.
I collected a lot of comics in the 90s, so
Yeah.
man, you couldn't go wrong with an X-Men cover drawn by Jim Lee.
Punisher myself. I'm a huge Jim Lee.
yeah, Punisher War Journal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark.
I got nothing. Like I was not a comic collector as a kid. Like the only comics I really got as a kid were any of that came in like Masters of the Universe or any toys
Like
that
the
got
mini
comics in them.
comics.
Yeah, exactly. So I never really had comics. So
Fair enough.
I got
Fair
nothing.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I like this questionnaire because it shows the humanity side of things, and I love hearing about different experiences that people have. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, I can dig it.
So
Um,
you guys are up.
oh, my favorite. Oh God, I've got. You know, boy, we didn't have to answer this question when we
No.
started this
I mean,
thing.
you should have known it was going to come back around, guys. I mean, you even
I
heard the
never,
question in
I
advance.
never considered it until you said that, and then I'm like, oh, and now I'm like, oh, there's the panic. Yeah, there we go.
Tim Bradstreet. Tim Bradstreet does photorealistic covers for Marvel, specifically Punisher.
Oh, you're a big Punisher guy then, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Punisher and Iron Man are my two big favorite superheroes. So I have almost every Iron Man figure ever made.
Wow,
Wow.
that sounds like a lot to keep
It
up
is.
with.
It is. In full
yeah. If it's
scale.
Marvel Legends or whatever, yeah, he'll buy it. If it's Iron Man, he'll buy it. Occasionally he ends up with extra ones and then sends it to me. So, um,
Nice.
um,
So
I'm gonna I'm gonna have to go with Mark Bright. May he rest in peace. He
yeah,
drew GI Joe for 60 or 70 issues in the Marvel run, and I just his like the peak years that I was reading that, like his art is just synonymous um with that era for me. I mean, there's some big name artists that I really love, but yeah, if I've got to pick a favorite, yeah, it's Mark Wright. He drew Iron Man. He drew some other title, like he did the Armor Wars for Iron Man, and that's iconic too. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And that being said, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Jamie Tyndall too. Um, I've met him. He comes to Denver Comic Con every year. Every year, I've done a couple customs based off his work. He signed my customs. He's just a fantastic person to talk to. I absolutely love talking to him too.
Nice. That's awesome. I should have maybe said Frank Miller because I have a giant Frank Miller recreation 2-page spread from Wolverine miniseries on my wall. So I have a mural, black and white mural of the Frank
nice.
Miller spread in
Yeah,
my
Frank
in my
Miller.
basement.
I absolutely love his run on Daredevil.
Yeah, great run on Daredevil. And for me, and I think it's more not that he's probably my favorite comic artist of all time, but like Wolverine miniseries for me, that 4-issue limited series that Frank Miller and Claremont did
Yeah,
it's like my favorite from when I read it when I was a kid, and it's just always been my favorite.
yeah, absolutely. I get that. All right, JD, last question.
Your favorite music soundtrack?
That's easy for Mark, I think.
Tron.
Dude, this guy listens to this Tron soundtrack in his car. I get into his car, it's Tron playing every time.
I, I'm
Every Done.
I've won one of my children over to Tron, and the other one just hates it.
That's always how it goes, I think. Ben,
So, gosh, I'm drawn. I'm fine. I think you finally got me on one where I don't know exactly. I feel like I should know this, but I'm totally drawing a blank on what I would pick for my favorite soundtrack. You know what? I gotta go with the classic. I'm gonna go with Grease. It's like
ooh,
the only. It's
I like
it's
that one.
it's kind of the only musical movie I like, and I love Grease. I love that movie.
Grease was my gateway into musicals. I'm not the biggest musical fan. There's a ton of classic ones I haven't seen. There's a ton of iconic ones I haven't seen, but I can sing along with a lot of the Grease soundtrack. I've seen that movie. You know what? I don't even know how many times. Um,
One of my
I went
favorite
I
movies.
went I went to the theater to see it when they re-released it in 1997 for the 20th anniversary of it, and that was yeah, it was pretty epic. I love that movie. In fact, I just rewatched it a couple of months ago. I found it on Netflix. I'm like, oh shit, yes, here we go.
Nice.
What's your favorite song off that soundtrack? I'm a big fan of Grease Lightning.
Grease Lightning's great. Yeah,
And I feel sappy when I listen to Hopelessly Devoted to You. So
that's not in my top. That's not towards the top of my list. That one.
Gotta be the Summer
I'm with you
Lovin'
on
though.
Grease Lighting for
Summer
sure.
Lovin's pretty good.
Summer Lovin's great. Love Summer Lovin'. Um,
I think this might qualify as some Grease Lightning.
Yes.
nice. Bringing it back around. So,
Yeah,
uh, so last question. You guys got to answer it now, and
All
then
right.
buddy. I
Last
have no idea what my answer was the first time I answered this.
it is the soundtrack to Highlander, it done by Queen. The album is called "It's a Kind of Magic." Abs that was what got me into Queen and into like classic rock, which is one of my favorite genres. So,
Nice.
awesome.
yeah, it's a Kind of Magic by Queen, which is the
So you
sound.
listen to some Flash Gordon too then?
Oh yeah, I like me some Flash Gordon too.
Nice.
Yes. I
I'm
met
gonna have to check it out. I'm gonna check out that soundtrack.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I met Sam Jones a couple of years ago and got him to autograph the boss fight figure for me. He was phenomenal to talk to. We got there, he was just setting up, and I'm like, I'll come back when you're all set up. He's like, no, 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 hang out, talk to me, chat with me while I'm
That's
getting
awesome.
set up.
Very
So
cool.
yeah, and
That's
then
very cool.
I had to, by the time we were done, I had a line. I'm like, I really should let your other fans. He's like, ah, that's okay. You know. So I mean, he was super cool to chat to. So yeah, I like me some Flash Gordon.
Um, I really love the soundtrack to uh Captain America: The First Avenger. Like that soaring theme when Cap uh and the rest of that army unit are walking back into the camp after he rescued them from Hydra, or or the show tunes with the uh Captain America man with the plan when he's on his cross country tour selling the war bonds. That's one of those that I love Cap's theme, and it is my favorite of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. But look, I love the Avengers theme. I love that soundtrack. But yeah, I think it's Captain America, the first Avenger. Winter Soldier's got a good soundtrack too, but I don't think it's as iconic as First Avenger.
Cool.
I have no idea when I answered the first time, but that's
Yeah,
one that I downloaded it a couple of months ago, and I've been listening to it a bunch. So
yeah, I don't know. All right, we are right at 2 hours. So once
that was
again,
a hell of a good show.
yeah,
Thanks, guys.
I want to thank you both for being on the show, for joining us. For congratulations on getting the Kickstarter completed and out to
Oh,
people.
I
And
would say a wildly successful Kickstarter.
yeah,
Mostly, we'll say mostly completed.
mostly completed. Fair enough. Because
A
this,
large milestone of the Kickstarter.
yes, because the 6-inch figures are on the way, or well, soon, soon,
Soon.
soon.
Yeah, I've got
Piece of art.
yeah, I have all of the 6-inch figures ordered because when the Kickstarter was going on, I was still doing O-ring and modern stuff, and then I switched over to the. I mean, I had some of the classified stuff before that. I had a few Marvel Legends before that, but I switched into buying a lot more of the 6-inch stuff in like 2022. So I've gone back and I had to buy the 6-inch figures after because I'm like, well, I can't not have those. And then when I saw the prototypes that you had in the display at assembly required of like the 6-inch Skeletron, I'm like, holy shit, that is sick.
Yeah, 6-inch.
Um,
It's amazing. But
oh, hey, before I forget, where do I get a Skeletron hat? I need one of those.
One of these?
Yeah, I need one.
Um, boy, there's people that are asking if we can add them to our site too, and we just haven't done that. Well,
So normally you got to come to a show.
yeah.
That's the
All
normal.
right, fair enough.
That's the
I
normal.
I can't argue with that reason.
But what do you got there? We could maybe, we'll see what we can do. Maybe get a guy, maybe we can upgrade that Tractor Supply.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do.
Oh yeah, thank you. I like my bright orange hat. That's
but again, I can't thank you enough for both of you being able to join us on this episode.
yeah, this was amazing. Thank
Oh,
you.
it's fun. We had a
Yeah,
good
it
time.
was fun.
I had a
Thanks,
great
guys.
time.
Really
This is fun.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
thanks for having us
totally
on.
waiting to unbox this. And we may not be the first, we may not be the best, but god damn it, we're the only ones that were unboxed this thing with the creators on the show. So
Yeah.
Right on.
Brian posted his, and people are like, "You're crazy to wait. I don't know how you could wait." And I'm like, it was Brian's idea to try to get you guys on the show when we unboxed it, and this was wildly successful. And I'm really glad you could fit us in because yeah, I can see where you're probably pretty busy right now.
Yeah.
So
I really appreciate you guys taking the time to join us on this episode.
Me too.
As always, folks, please do that fun social media stuff. Like, share, subscribe, comment below. Let us know if you got your Roboskull and what you think of it. And if you haven't, you really should get one. It's a choice piece of art.
By the way, the pre-order, so we shipped Kickstarter backers, right? Got the Roboskulls that are on the way and been received. We are going to be shipping the pre-orders that happened after the Kickstarter. Those pre-orders are going to be start shipping on Monday.
Sweet.
So
nice.
So that's that I haven't posted that update yet to the Kickstarter, but that's what's happening.
There you go.
Excellent.
And we look forward to seeing what you guys will bring us in the future, and we'll be happy to have you on the show when you guys are ready to do any kind of reveal for that.
Yeah, definitely. This was fun. Thanks, guys.
Awesome, guys. Again, this was so much fun. We really thank you guys for your support of the Kickstarter. It really means a lot to us. Obviously, this never could have happened without that massive support from Kickstarter backers, and we would have never been able to pack so many things and so many unlocks and so many extras if it hadn't been for so many of those backers coming and really making for an amazing Kickstarter for us. So thank you for that, and then thank you for having us.
It was an honor for us to be part of that because we did.
Absolutely. It was one of those I saw and I'm like, well, there's no hesitation. Back. I don't back a lot of Kickstarters. When I do, it's not always that fast, but I'm just like, I need one of those.
Yeah.
My life will not be complete without one of those. So
we were honored to have you on the show the first time to help promote that. So we feel like we have some of the helped with some of that, and that's to actually have it is like,
it's still kind of surreal. So
it is. It does feel surreal for us to after all this time, because we've been looking at this for a long time. So obviously to finally get it into your hands feels amazing, and just the response has been phenomenal. So thanks to all the backers that have gotten them and have given us such amazing feedback that it was so worth the wait, and that really makes it worthwhile, this whole journey so far. So thanks.
And like I said, as always, please do that fun social media stuff. Like, share, subscribe, comment below. There are links to all of the social media stuff. Be sure and check that out. Skeletron store, Facebook page, Instagram, all that stuff's going to be in the show notes. Be sure and check that out. And as always, thanks for watching.
Thanks, everybody.